Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we take your stack of sources and turn them into the knowledge you need.
Today we are getting into something, well, something pretty uncomfortable.
It really is. We're talking about the idea that hard work on its own just doesn't guarantee success or even stability anymore. It's a tough pill to swallow for anyone who, grew up believing in that core promise.
It's an unavoidable conversation, though.
Uh-huh.
And our source material, The Broken Social Contract, Why Hard Work is Not Enough, gives us a really crucial framework to understand it.
Right. We're trying to move past just the feeling of frustration, that sense of running in place.
Exactly. We want to look at the actual structural disconnect.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to dig into the specific mechanisms that sort of dismantle that relationship between effort and reward.
And to be clear, this isn't a conversation against discipline or effort.
Not at all. It's just a recognition that the rules of the game have fundamentally changed.
Okay, so let's unpack this. For generations, society basically ran on what our source calls the old promise. And you know it, you feel it. Show up, work hard, be persistent.
Put in the hours.
Put in the hours and you will be rewarded. Success was tied to virtue and failure. Well, that was seen as a character flaw, right?
Yeah.
A lack of effort.
And critically, that belief was, for a long time, based in reality. I mean, for a large part of the 20th century, that social contract was real.
It actually worked.
It did.
Yeah.
You show up, you're loyal to your company, and in return, you got a predictable path. You got benefits, you got stability. A single income could support a family.
You could buy a house, plan for retirement. Hard work was directly convertible into a stable life.
But flash forward to today, and that entire operating manual it's just obsolete.
They're working harder than ever. We all are. Longer hours, you're always connected. The boundaries are gone. People are juggling side hustles just to get by.
And yet the outcomes.
Yeah.
Wages are stagnant, housing costs are just astronomical, and job security is basically a joke. Burnout isn't the exception, it's the norm.
The system is asking you to run on empty and paying you less for it.
And that's the structural collapse we have to focus on. The latter hasn't just been moved. It's been dismantled from the bottom up. We need to look at the why.
Okay, so let's start there with the economics of it all. Production. We hear all the time we need to be more productive, but the data in our sources is just stark.
It is. Since the 1970s, productivity, so the amount of value created for every hour you work is just exploded.
Right. Thanks to technology and efficiency, we're creating this immense, unprecedented value.
We are. But here's the absolute gut punch. Wages have completely failed to keep up.
Not even close.
Not even close. If you look at the charts from, say, the 40s to the early 70s, productivity and wages go up together. Almost a perfect match.
After that,
After the 70s, productivity shoots for the moon, and the average worker's wage just flatlines. It barely moves.
that gap between those two lines, now that's everything. That's the whole story right there.
Absolutely. Technology was sold to us as a liberator, fewer hours, easier work.
But instead, it became a tool for concentration.
Exactly. Automation, digital tools. They let one person do the work of 3 or 4. So efficiency didn't lead to more free time for everyone. It led to management using it as an excuse for understaffing.
So efficiency became a tool for extraction. You're working just as hard, maybe harder, running these complex new systems. Your value is scaled up, but your paycheck isn't.
Precisely. The value created by labor went up exponentially, but the share of that value returned to the worker just collapsed. The reward disappeared, but the hard work didn't. That's the first major break in the system.
And once that economic foundation starts to crumble, well, the social narrative has to curdle too, right?
It has to.
Which brings us to the erosion of meritocracy. And this is, I think, the most difficult part for people to accept, because that ideal, that talent and effort are what matter. It's so deep in our bones.
But the modern reality is that meritocracy is now, it's largely an illusion. The source is blunt about this. Hard work is now just the minimum requirement.
It's the price of admission. It's not the thing that makes you stand out.
It's not the differentiator at all.
So if effort is just the baseline, what actually drives success now?
Well, it's things that are almost entirely external to your actual work. It's access, it's visibility, it's your network. Who you know beats what you can do almost every single time.
So your hard work is no longer a compass pointing north. It's just what you need to even get into the race. A race where everyone is starting from a different line.
That's a perfect way to put it. And it explains why 2 people can work equally hard, be equally skilled, and have wildly different outcomes based on, luck, or who they met, or what school their parents could afford.
And this whole broken promise, you see it so clearly in education.
Oh, absolutely. Education was supposed to be the great equalizer, right? The original meritocratic deal.
You work hard for 4 years, get the degree, and you're guaranteed opportunity.
But now there's a massive oversupply. Everyone has the degree, which devalues it. And critically, they have permanent debt.
That debt changes everything.
It changes the entire equation. All that hard work in school, all the sacrifice, it gets you a certificate that's now mandatory, but not sufficient. And it comes with this anchor of debt that prevents you from taking risks.
You can't take that low-paying internship at a cool startup or move across the country for an opportunity.
You're forced into the first high-paying job you can find just to service the debt. Sometimes you're financially worse off than if you'd skipped college entirely. It's become this extractive process disguised as self-improvement.
What's so infuriating is how the system maintains the illusion of fairness,
Yeah.
even with all this happening. Our sources talk about survivorship bias.
Yes, it's a key mechanism. The system points to the one viral success story, the outlier, the startup founder who made it big.
And says, see? It still works. If they can do it, so can you.
Exactly. The implication is if you haven't made it, you just didn't want it badly enough. You didn't work hard enough.
So hard work is judged by its rarest exceptions.
Which allows the institutions to avoid any responsibility for the millions of people the system is failing. It's a really powerful form of moral deflection.
Okay, so this brings us to what feels like the real turning point in the analysis. We have to move beyond just talking about effort
We do.
and start talking about the concept that has completely replaced it as the main driver of success: leverage.
This is the most crucial shift to grasp. Effort is linear. You work 1 hour, you get 1 hour of output. But leverage is exponential. It multiplies your impact in a way effort alone never could.
So let's define leverage. It's not just about having money, is it?
No, it's much broader than that.
Yeah.
We're talking about ownership. Owning assets, capital, a platform, a brand, an audience, a distribution channel. These are the multipliers.
Give us an example.
Okay, think about a master woodworker. Spends a month making one perfect, beautiful chair. That is pure high-scale effort.
Linear value, one chair.
Now, compare that to someone who owns a software platform. They hire that craftsman to design a 3D model of the chair. The platform owner then automates the distribution and sells that template 10,000 times in an hour with zero extra effort.
The owner wins every single time.
Because the owner benefits from the scale of the system. That's leverage. A brand beats raw skill. A platform with reach beats a dedicated worker.
So the painful truth is that hard work without leverage is, well, it's extractable.
It's instantly extractable. You're working hard to make someone else's platform or company bigger, but you have no ownership or control over the value you're helping create.
You're just working to make someone else wealthy.
And suddenly, the drivers of success are completely divorced from merit. Being early matters more than being good.
And algorithms decide who even gets seen.
Right. You can pour your soul into creating something profound, but if it doesn't please the algorithm, which rewards controversy and high engagement, not depth, might as well be invisible.
The algorithm doesn't care about integrity. It cares about clicks.
Performance replaces substance. And all that quiet, painstaking hard work, it's just invisible behind the constant need for presentation and self-promotion.
And connecting all this back to the individual, I mean, the psychological cost has to be enormous.
It's immense. When the system is broken, telling someone to just work harder is a form of psychological warfare, really.
Yeah.
It shifts all the blame for structural problems onto your personal shoulders.
That's why hustle culture is so toxic. It takes the language of virtue, discipline, grit, and uses it to make you complicit in your own exploitation. It celebrates burnout.
It does. But people aren't lazy. They're just completely depleted. When you put in effort again and again and it produces no results, you develop what psychologists call learned helplessness.
You just give up.
Your motivation collapses.
Yeah.
Cynicism sets in. And that's not a character flaw. It is a rational, adaptive response to a system with broken incentives.
The sources call the most damaging outcome identity collapse.
Yes. If you've been taught your whole life that your effort equals your worth as a person, and then your effort fails to produce results,
You conclude that you are worthless, that you're the problem. It's heartbreaking.
and it's all compounded by the death of the good job. Stability is gone, replaced by contract work. Loyalty is exploited. Companies weaponize passion, telling you to accept less pay and more stress because you love the mission.
It's the ultimate trap. So that anxiety you feel about your future, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign you're paying attention.
It's an appropriate response to genuine instability. Recognizing that is the first step to taking back some control.
Okay, so what do we do with all this? It's a pretty grim picture. If the old rules are dead, we need a new playbook.
We do. And it has to be based on the world as it actually is, not how we wish it were.
You synthesized the key strategic shifts from the source. What's the bottom line?
The bottom line is that the modern divide is ownership. Workers create value, owners capture it. When productivity goes up, workers get more tasks, owners get more power.
So you have to find a way to own something, even a small piece.
And you have to accept that talent is now a commodity. The internet created infinite experts. Skill alone won't save you.
Distribution matters more than quality. Attention comes before merit.
That's the uncomfortable truth. Leverage outperforms effort. Positioning beats hustle. And you have to remember, markets are not moral. Expecting the system to be fair is just a recipe for burnout.
So it's not about working harder or even smarter in the old sense. It's about working with multipliers.
1 hour of leveraged work, building a system, creating a digital asset, growing an audience, can be worth more than months of linear, unleveraged labor.
And if money and status are so unstable, then we have to redefine what success even means.
Exactly. It's not about the endless grind anymore. It's about autonomy, flexibility, optionality, control over your own time.
The goal is freedom, not just a bigger paycheck.
The goal is designing a life that doesn't consume you. So the final advice is this. Hard work is the baseline. It's not the strategy. You must pair it with positioning and, most importantly, with leverage.
Wow. That really just flips the entire script we grew up with. Hard work didn't stop mattering. It just stopped being enough.
It stopped being sufficient. And the sooner you can let go of that old promise, the sooner you can start building something that actually functions in the world we live in now.
Which leaves us with a really provocative final thought.
It does. If modern resentment isn't about jealousy of success, but it's about anger at unfair visibility, and if our algorithms reward controversy over substance, what does true effort even look like anymore?
Does it mean we have to build our visibility and our leverage first, or at least at the same time we're building our skills?
Instead of the other way around, which is what the old world always promised,
Yeah.
that your competence would eventually lead to your reward. It completely inverts the relationship between mastery and success.
Something to think about as you design your own leverage.